Cutting my boots on gravel roads and railroad tracks. Learned to drive on dirt and never look back. Ran with boys who knew how to disappear. Lived for every crooked road that brought me here. I've shaken hands with trouble, laughed at consequence. Traded all my tomorrows for the present tense. Thought that freedom meant you answer to no name. Found out real quick that ain't freedom, that's just shame. I was living by no law but my own, reaping every bitter seed I'd ever sown. Had the whole wide world and I was still alone, just a restless man with a heart like stone. Smoke, and I finally heard the silence when it spoke. You've been running hard, but you ain't free. Then I found Jesus on a cold November night, not in a church house, not in stained glass light, just a broken man at the end of every road. Finally putting down a 40-year-old load. I don't live by no law but his now. Learned the hard way, learned to kneel and bow. Same hands, same boots, same southern sky. But something in me finally stopped asking why. Still fight the night, but something steady keeps me in the light. I ain't above the men, still on that road. I just found the grace to lay it down and go. I ain't ashamed of where I've been. How else would I know what grace costs? Every mile of that road was leading me right here. bellied up to the bar, courting the bottle. That's where I lived, that's where I'd settle. Whiskey my preacher, the bar stool my pew. Didn't need nobody, or so I thought I knew. Nights blurred together like highway and rain. Woke up in places I can't rightly name. My wife stopped calling, my kids stopped crying. Didn't even notice, too busy dying. Yeah, I was hunched over a bar, loving on a bottle. That's where Jesus found me. Running full throttle, didn't come in glory, didn't come in light. Came real quiet on a Tuesday night. I wasn't looking, Lord knows I wasn't ready, but he sat down beside me, calm and steady. Said, I know what you've done, and I'm here just the same. And nothing in this world has been the same. I'd burn through my family like a field on fire. Left my woman alone with nothing but tired. Told myself lies till the lies felt true. A man can do that when he's lost his way through. But that night something cracked me clean open, like old dry timber, finally broken. Weren't no preacher, weren't no altar call, just me and God in an empty hall. Yeah, I was hunched over a bar, loving on a bottle. That's where Jesus found me. Running full throttle, didn't come in glory, didn't come in light. Came real quiet on a Tuesday night. I wasn't looking, Lord knows I wasn't ready, but he sat down beside me, calm and steady. Said, I know what you've done, and I'm here just the same. And nothing in this world has been the same. Now I reckon grace ain't pretty when it finds you. It don't ask permission, it just reminds you that the man you buried under all that shame still got a soul and still got a name. I won't stand here and tell you I got it together. Some days the road is still rough leather, but I walk it sober, I walk it straight, and I thank God every morning I ain't too late. My daughter called me on a Sunday morning, first time in years without a storm brewing. Said, Daddy, you sound different, you sound like you're here. I had to step outside so she wouldn't hear me tear. Reckon that's what redemption looks like for a man like me. Not a lightning bolt, just a phone call free. Not the life I planned, not the man I was, but finally something close to who I ought to be. Yeah, I was hunched over a bar, loving on a bottle. That's where Jesus found me. Running full throttle, didn't come in glory, didn't come in light. Came real quiet on a Tuesday night. I wasn't looking, Lord knows I wasn't ready, but he sat down beside me, calm and steady. Said, I know what you've done, and I'm here just the same. And nothing in this world has been the same. Ain't nobody too far gone, I know 'cause I was, and it came anyway. Steel door slammed like judgment, echo wouldn't leave the hall. Concrete sweating under dim lights, my name on a numbered wall. Orange cloth on my back, chain marks on my wrist. I'd run hard my whole life long, now I couldn't clench a fist. Men talk loud in places like that, like noise can drown the truth. But night comes heavy in a cell and it don't care about your youth. I'd hurt folks who trusted me, took what wasn't mine, called it anger, called it need, called it being out of time. Truth was simple as that bunk, I did what I chose to do. Judge didn't have to twist my arm, the evidence was true. First weekend I cursed the bars, blamed the law, blamed fate, blamed my daddy, blamed the town, blamed anybody but my way. But iron don't bend for excuses and walls don't nod along. You sit long enough in silence, you start hearing where you're wrong. There was a Gideon Bible, torn spine, thin page. Somebody's name scratched in the cover and a verse on rage. I read where Paul was locked away, singing through the night. Read about chains falling loose, not by will but by his might. I shut that book real quick, didn't want that kind of light. But darkness in a prison cell ain't easy to keep tight. Third month in, I hit my knees, cold floor, metal bed. No poetry came to my mouth, just plain words I said. Jesus, I did this, ain't no one else to blame. I've read lives and wrecked my own, I ain't hiding from my shame. If you save men like the thief hanging near your side, look at me in this steel cage where my pride has died. I don't ask you to open doors, I don't ask to walk out free. Just forgive me by your blood and take this heart from me. Stood up off that concrete, a different kind of man. Not innocent, not excused, just forgiven where I stand. My sentence still before me, my past still written down. But Jesus wrote a mercy over it that no court could overturn. Now I read that book at morning, before the count begins. Not asking bars to open, just thanking him for cleansing sin. Concrete still cold under my feet, lock still snaps at night. But I belong to Jesus Christ and that's set right. When that gate one day swings wide and I step back in the sun, I won't say prison changed my heart, I'll say Jesus did. The sun stood still over Sicard town, pressed its weight on the broken ground. No shade stretched long, no mercy cloud, just white hot light without a sound. A woman walked when no one stayed at that hard bright hour of the day. Rope and jar against her side, steps that kept the world away. Well saddled in Abraham's dust, stone worn smooth by thirst and trust, and there beside her, travel worn, a Jewish man with eyes that must have seen more miles than roads could show more hearts than she would ever know. He asked her for a drink of water from hands the town had laid low. She paused beneath that burning sky, surprised a rabbi would even try to cross the lines their fathers drew, to speak, not turn and pass her by. He spoke of water she had not known, not pulled from earth, not carved from stone, but living, rising from within, a spring no drought could overthrow. She answered sharp the way shame will, with guarded words and iron will. For 5 had sworn to love her once, and 1 now shared her house. Still no rumor left his steady tone, no lifted voice, no casted stone. He named her story plain and clear, as if her nights were fully known. The heat grew thick, the air stood tight, truth laid bare in open light, yet not a trace of cruel delight was resting in his sight. She spoke of mountains where to bow, temple courts and sacred vow. He said the hour was coming soon when worship would not ask you how, not here nor there on rival hills, not bound by ancient written wills, but spirit born and carried true where thirsty hearts the Father fills. Then quiet fell like settled dust, no crowd to judge, no friend to trust. And there he said what few had heard, I am the one, in me you must. The jar slipped loose against the stone, forgotten where the rope had grown, for something deeper than the well had claimed a thirst she'd always known. She walked back through the narrow street where whispers trailed her passing feet, but now her voice rang clear and strong, no longer bowed in slow retreat. Come see the man who told it all, the hidden cracks behind the wall. Could this be more than flesh and bone? Could this be mercy's call? They came with dust upon their hems, with questions none could answer then. And many heard, and many stayed, and many came to faith in him. The sun bent low beyond the land, long shadows crossed the weathered sand. But deeper still than Jacob's well, a living stream began to stand, not drawn by rope nor sealed by lid, not earned by what she failed or did, but flowing where the truth had cut and grace refused to close the wound it hid. In sicker's ground, stone and dust and history bound, but somewhere past that midday heat, a different water still is found. I read the book of Isaiah by the light of a kerosene flame. 40 years in the wilderness and I still forget your name. Not yours, Lord, but my own, the one you gave me at birth. I traded it for a number on a cell block in this earth. The pages smell of mildew, the leather's cracked and worn, just like these hands that turned them since the day that I was born. There's dust on the page, the words are still alive. There's rust on these caves where my poor soul used to thrive. I'm still waiting on the valley to raise these bones again, till the dust on the pages is the dust of holy men. I knew a woman in Nashville who read her Bible through. Every year a new one, the old one looked brand new. She could quote you Revelation while she charged you double price for a used car with a prayer glued on to the dashboard light. I met a man in Memphis who couldn't read a line, but he washed my feet on Beale Street with a bottle of cheap wine. He said, son, the word was made flesh and is sleeping in the gutter. You walk right past it every day, too busy with your stutter. There's dust on the pages, but the words are still alive. There's rust on these cages where my poor soul used to thrive. I'm still waiting on the valley to raise these bones again, till the dust on the pages is the dust of holy men. Ezekiel saw the dry bones, he heard the Lord command. But me, I am the dry bones lying in this land. And if the wind won't blow, and if the breath won't come, I'll still be dust, believing in the kingdom yet to come. There's dust on the pages, but the words are still alive. There's right. I'm still waiting on the valley to raise these bones again, till the dust on the pages is the dust of holy men. Till the dust on the pages is the dust of holy men. Just dust, just dust. Amen. I had a friend from my hometown who used to ride that county line. Dust in our teeth, cheap thrills in our veins, thought we had plenty of time. They laid him down last Sunday, pine box preacher's tone. Cold dirt tap and hollow wood, now it's gone, just gone. Whiskey took his steady hands, white lines took his mind. He kept saying he could quit any old time. You ever hear that kind of talk? I have, I said it too. Sin don't shout when it takes a man, it just makes him think he's through. I stood there by that open hole, wind cutting through my coat. Heard that dirt hit cedar lid, felt it in my throat. That could have been my name, they read. Could have been my stone. Could have been my mama crying, standing there alone. That night I sat at my kitchen table, bottle sweating in my hand. Cross on the wall my mother gave, more than I had planned. I said, Jesus, I know you're standing there, and I've run out of breath to run. I'm tired of trying without your hand. I'm finished, I am done. I can't break what's breaking me, I can't clean this stain. You bled for men as lost as me, wash me from this chain. Pull me back before the grave, before they close that door. I don't wanna walk that road, not one step more. No lightning split the ceiling, no choir rose to sing. Just something snapped inside my chest like a rusted ring. I poured that bottle down the sink, watched it circle slow. Stood there shaking at the counter, didn't let it go. Ain't saying I'm a stronger man, ain't saying I don't fight, but Jesus took the weight I had, set my feet upright. I still see that fresh turned dirt, still hear that shovel fall. That grave was wide enough for me, wide enough for us all. So if you're riding thin tonight, thinking you're in control, There's a patch of ground outside of town that's waiting on your soul. I was headed there full speed, didn't see the bend, but Jesus pulled me off that road before it met its end. Before the grave, before the cold, before they carve your name in stone and say you lost your soul. Before the grave. My God, I'm calling through dry air, and it feels like the sky is tin. My words hit hard above my head and fall back down again. I wake before the daylight breaks with gravel in my throat. I speak your name into the dark, but it barely stays afloat. I walk these fields of unpaid debts, rows of what I've sown. The crows don't scare when I come near, they know I'm not their own. Men look strong in Sunday clothes, but I know what hides inside. I've worn that coat of polished faith with a rod I couldn't hide. My bones feel older than my years, my strength leaks through my hand. The ground beneath my boots is cracked like promises in sand. I hear the old ones used to say you carried them through flood, that you pulled them from the lion's jaw and washed them clean with blood. They said you don't turn from the cry of the crushed and the ashamed. They swore you stayed beside the weak when the whole town threw their blame. So why's the wind so cold tonight? Why's mercy slow to speak? Why do I feel like a stray dog, too worn and thin to keep? My failures hang around my neck, heavier than chain. Every mile behind my back whispers back my name. I ain't got sacrifice to bring, no lamb without a scar. Just a worn out man on splintered knees and wounds that show too far. If you still listen from that throne, if you still bend down low, then find me in this thicket, Lord. I ain't got strength to go. Don't leave me to the voice that says I've wandered past your line. Don't let the dark have final word over this heart of mine. The night ain't split, the ground ain't moved, the ache ain't gone away, but I'm still breathing out your name, and that's enough to stay. I will speak of you in broken tones if you carry me through this. And if you don't remove the cup, still it's your hand I'll kiss. My God, I'm dust and borrowed breath and bold belong to you. Hold me through this stretch of road until the morning breaks through. I've been running on diesel fumes and pride. White lines blur on a back road night. Radio preaching about a narrow way. Lord knows I turned mine the other side. Mama's Bible on the passenger seat. Been riding there since '93. Pages worn and a little torn, like the man that's holding it weak. Ain't no storm like a guilty mind. Ain't no mile you can leave behind. There's a front porch light still burning for me, down a gravel drive by a pine wood tree. I don't deserve what I couldn't see, grace waiting where I used to be. I've been a fool, I've been set free by a front porch light still burning for me. She said, son, you can chase that wind, but it won't fill the shape you're in. I laughed it off like a younger men do, till the silence finally settled in. Wore my ring like a chain some days, talked too hard, walked my own way. But mercy don't scare that easy, just waits where the good Lord stays. Ain't no road that don't bend back round when your knees finally hit the ground. There's a front porch light still burning for me, down a gravel drive by a pine wood tree. I don't deserve what I couldn't see, grace waiting where I used to be. I've been a fool, I've been set free by a front porch light still burning for me. I thought I had to fix it all, pay every debt and break every wall, but the cross already paid that cost before I knew that I was lost. And that front porch light still burning for me. The devil whispers in the tall grass high, where the shadow stretches and the copperheads lie. He knows my name, knows where I've been, knows every crooked thing crawls beneath my skin. He waits till dark when the mind gets weak, slips through the cracks where a man can't sleep. But I learned something he don't understand. There's power in the name and strength in praying hands. I crushed that serpent's head down in the dust, dropped to my knees in the name I trust. Ain't fighting on my own, ain't standing alone. Got the blood of the lamb and a battle already won. The devil's got teeth, but he ain't got hold. I'm a soldier of Christ and I won't be sold. He whispers in the tall grass trying to deceive, but I stomped that liar down when I hit my knees. He tells me lies wrapped up in truth, says I'm too far gone, says there ain't no use. Reminds me of the man I was before, like grace ain't big enough to cover what I bore. But I've read the book and I know how it ends. That old serpent's already condemned. So when he comes around with his forked tongue talk, I just call the name that makes the darkness walk. I crushed that serpent's head down in the dust, dropped to my knees in the name I trust. Ain't fighting on my own, ain't standing alone. Got the blood of the lamb and a battle already won. The devil's got teeth, but he ain't got hold. I'm a soldier of Christ and I won't be sold. He whispers in the tall grass trying to deceive, but I stomped that liar down when I hit my knees. Natural eyes, it's fought in the hollows and the mountain skies. Not flesh and blood, but powers and thrones. But the captain I follow never left his own. So let that serpent hiss, let him rage and coil. I got armor forged in holy soil, and when the night gets long and the fight gets mean, just whisper the name that sets captives free. I crush that serpent's head down in the dust, drop to my knees in the name I trust. Ain't fighting on my own, ain't standing alone. Got the blood of the lamb and a battle already won. The devil's got teeth, but he ain't got hold. I'm a soldier of Christ and I won't be sold. He whispers in the tall grass trying to deceive, but I stomp that liar down when I hit my knees. I've been driving down this Blacktop Road with a Bible on the passenger side, coffee gone cold in a paper cup, and a lifetime I've been trying to hide. Neon lights in a nowhere town, like ghosts I used to know. Every mile feels like mercy now, but I got a long way left to go. I ain't proud of every line I crossed or the bridges burned behind, but grace don't ask for a perfect man, just a willing heart and time. I got dust on my knees, gravel in my hands, trying to stand where a broken man stands. I've been lost, I've been blind, I've been hard to please, but I'm learning how to fall down on dust-covered knees. No choir roll, no silver crown, just a whisper when the sun goes down. If mercy's waiting where the highway ends, I'll keep driving till I'm whole again. There's a little white church off county line with paint peeling from the door. I don't always walk inside, but I don't pass it like before. I remember what my mama said, son, don't run from the light. Even the darkest field out there still turns gold by morning time. I ain't saying I'm a righteous man, I've wrestled with my pride, but I feel something strong as truth riding with me tonight. I got dust on my knees, gravel in my hands, trying to stand where a broken man stands. I've been lost, I've been blind, I've been hard to please, but I'm learning how to fall down on dust-covered knees. No spotlight, no grand parade, just quiet prayers I never pray. If mercy's waiting where the highway bends, I'll keep driving till I'm whole again. Maybe forgiveness sounds like tires on rain. Maybe redemption feels like calling my name. Maybe freedom ain't chains undone, knowing I'm still loved when the day is done. With dust on my knees, I'm lifting my hands. Ain't the man I was back then. I've been wrong, I've been weak, but I still believe there's a road back home for a soul like me. No perfect words, no grand demands, just a faith that never ends. If mercy's waiting where the highway ends, I'll keep driving till I'm whole again. Dust on my knees, but I'm standing again. The sun's dropping low on the mesa line, and I reckon I've run out of borrowed time. My hands ain't steady like they used to be, and the road ahead looks different than I can see. Been riding hard since I was 17, chasing horizon lines and in between. But the saddle's worn and the trail's gone cold, and a man gets tired carrying what he's owed. I've done things I can't take back or undo, left good people waiting that I never came through, broke promises I swore on sacred ground. And now the weight of all that's pulling me down, there's dust in my lungs and lead in my chest, and I'm wondering if a man like me can rest, if the gates are real and the judgment's true. Lord, I hope you see what I'm trying to do. I'm asking for mercy at the edge of the light, one last chance to make something right. I ain't got much to lay at your feet, just a worn out soul and a heart that beats. If this is the last ride I ever take, let it lead me home for redemption's sake. I've been a fool, I've been a fighter, I've been lost, but I'm here now, Lord, whatever the cost. The sky's turning colors I ain't seen before, purple and gold like an open door, and I wonder if it's waiting or if it's goodbye, if I'm crossing over or just learning to die. My horse is grazing quiet in the face just heavy and still, waiting on whatever bends to the Father's will. I've been a hard man, lived a hard life, cut deep and bled and held the knife, but somewhere underneath the dust and sin, there's a part of me that still believes in Him. So if this breath's my last, if this light's the end, let me go easy, let me go cleansed. I don't need glory, don't need a crown, just wanna lay this heavy burden down. I'm asking for mercy at the edge of the light, one last chance to make something right. I ain't got much to lay at your feet, just a worn out soul and a heart that beats. If this is the last ride I ever take, let it lead me home for redemption's sake. I've been a fool, I've been a fighter, I've been lost, but I'm here now, Lord, whatever the cost. I'm just a wanderer in this world. I've been down many a rough road, but they all got one thing in common. Every single one leads to Jesus. Every single one leads to Jesus.